through which to access and share non-duality.
In case people are tuning into this and who have not had a lot of experience with what is labeled the non-dual tradition, could you give us 2 or 3 minutes of what are we talking about here when we talk about the non-dual approach or the pure unconditioned awareness?
Thanks for the question, important question. Essentially, we have our conditioned experience. So, for example, my perception of you and what I'm thinking and the feelings that are happening inside of me, they are part of my conditioned experience. They're the objects of my awareness. Non-dual awareness is really bringing attention to pure awareness, the awareness component of what's arising or what's happening in this moment right now. So awareness is unstructured, it's contentless, it's pure, it's open, it's like space. And so the work we're doing is discovering how to connect with that pure, open, contentless dimension in the midst of everything that's happening internally and externally.
And you're going to help those of us in this course, you're going to help us access that and transmit that to other people we are working with.
Absolutely. Of course, many people in the course will already have access to that state. We're not talking about something that's unfamiliar to most participants in the course. We're talking about how to more fully embody it, how to develop a richer repertoire of techniques for sharing that experience, and how to gain more reach in terms of communicating with people. How to take someone, for example, who is in a state of real pain, real trauma, emotional anguish, for example, or strong confusion, and how to gently move that person, transport them into the state of pure awareness.
Peter, you've used the phrase radiant mind. How is that different from non-dual awareness, or is it the same? Are you intending the same with that phrase?
There are really 3 primary terms I use: conditioned awareness, conditioned experience, feelings, thoughts, and perceptions; non-dual awareness or unconditioned awareness. For me, they're the same thing. People use many different terms like source consciousness, self-knowledge, witness consciousness, rigpa, pure awareness. Many different terms are used for unconditioned awareness. Radiant mind is when the two intersect, when non-dual awareness is at play in the context and flow of our conditioned experience. Then we experience radiant mind.
Unconditioned awareness is always at play with conditioned awareness. What happens? What happens to the student in your class?
Nothing happens. At one level, nothing happens. That's a feature of non-dual awareness. In the space of non-dual awareness, it's a timeless experience, transpersonal, transcultural. It's the experience where nothing at one level is happening. It's not an occurrence. There's no one experiencing. It's not an experience. It's a state. It's a way of being. And then within that way of being, we show up, we appear as an individual in relationship with others. And then through a particular type of interaction, we can, as it were, come together in a mind-to-mind transmission and be presencing an identical state.
While we're going about our everyday conversation or our everyday life.
Well, most likely it won't be an everyday conversation that introduces this state to other people. We're here talking about quite specialized tools, quite specialized skills that are designed to deconstruct having a fixed frame of reference, to deconstruct being someone, techniques that allow us to be no one, that give us the freedom just to be at open space, a clearing that allows everything to arise as exactly as it is, without manipulation, without attachment and aversion.
So I'm not going to be taking this course in order to get better. I'm going to be taking this course to have the opportunity to play with other people who want to play in this context, who want to play in the paradox of accessing non-dual awareness when in fact nothing needs to be done or accessed.
Yeah.
You were already here. Peter, how does one know one is in a non-dual state, as you call it?
Great question. By not being able to find anyone being anywhere. So, for example, if the question arises, where am I? We cannot say where we are. I cannot find myself. Where is Peter? I cannot find Peter. Peter is not to be found. And where am I in terms of being in a physical location? I cannot say. This body is here clearly, but that's not me. So I cannot say where I am.
There's no reference point.
Exactly. There is no reference point. Yet, it's not chaotic. It's not as though things lose their coherence and functionality. Just as is happening here, everything is happening coherently. We're in a tight, meaningful communication, even though we're beginning to talk about nothing. There's no object that we are talking about at this point.
And that opportunity to experiment with talking about nothing will be there in this training.
Very centrally. It's a very important component of the training, teaching people how to talk about nothing as a way of inducing this state in other people. How to engage with people in a conversation in which at a certain point we are not talking about anything. We are sharing nothing together. Sharing no thingness together.
Peter, would you say that non-dual awareness would be in any conflict or tension with people's belief systems or feelings of reverence towards God? Or
It's impossible. Non-dual awareness is nothing. It's not a thing. So it can't be in conflict with anything. It's not a belief. It's not an orientation. It's not a value. It's not a perspective. So it's compatible with everything. No conflict is possible. If there's conflict arising, it's occurring at the conditioned level. It can't be a conflict with non-dual awareness itself.
Peter, often people accuse